very regal right now. I have never worn a tiara before. This is my first time.
Isn't it fun?
I feel I am strong, I am worthy, I am beautiful.
Yes.
That's what I'm feeling right now.
Yes.
And that is what we're talking about today. We're talking about Black beauty, but we're talking about so much more than that, aren't we?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to know who you are. We're going to start there, and then we will explain why we're sitting here on the couch with tiaras, with our crowns, and our sashes. We're going to explain that in just a bit.
Okay.
But I want to know so much more about you.
My name is Shay Andry.
Shay. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Most people know me as Shay Andry, and I'm an Austinite. I'm a Black woman. I am a lot of things.
You're a lot of things. Let me ask you, Shay, does that name mean anything? Do you know?
It does. It means thank you and thankful in Arabic. My grandmother on my mother's side named me.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Love it. So, okay, you are many, many things.
Yeah.
Again, this episode is about Black beauty, and this means a lot to me. I'm really excited to talk to you, and I'm really excited to launch this season of this series with this episode. I am a Black woman. I've always been Black. But before I was a Black woman, I was a little Black girl. And we're not going to pull out a bunch of stats on this show. We're not going to dive into data because it's out there and people need to begin to do their own research. But as a little Black girl, I knew what society told me about being Black, about having this color skin, about having my features. I knew, even as a little girl, what that meant about me. And it left me feeling very insecure. I struggled a lot with my image, my self-esteem, all of that. And I know it was because of the society within which we live. You just said you're many things. One of the many things you are is a model. You are absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
You are a model. Tell me, when you were little, because all of our experiences are different. When you were little, what was your experience with self-image, beauty? Did you love yourself? Talk to me about that.
As a little girl, it was, for a little bit, it was confusion. And it was confusion because I heard one thing and I felt one thing, but outside of home, it was something different. And so that was confusion. But like on the inside, I felt loved. I felt beautiful. I had people around me who really poured into me. And my grandmother used to tell me all the time that I was beautiful and that I could do anything. And she'd be like, oh, you're so graceful, baby. And, you know, she really nurtured that. And so I believed it. I can tell you that there was definitely a time frame in my life where it was questioned within self, because I was more, I was spending more time, I was older, so I was spending more time outside of the home.
Yeah.
And not with grandma and, you know, in the homestead. And so I really had those questions of, well, am I beautiful? Am I pretty? Like, do I feel that? Because I was like so many Black women. I was in Black girls, especially in Austin, one of the only Black girls in my class. And so my hair didn't look like everybody's. And I will never forget a time where it stood out. And it was like, oh no, you're different. And if you didn't know it before, you know it now.
You know it now.
But I had 2 girlfriends, and this was in middle school, and we were just being girls, right? What's in your closet? Oh, well, you know that you wore, that was cute. And so we decided we were gonna bring clothes for each other to school and wear each other's clothes because we were, you know, good girlfriends. And so we did. And I went into the bathroom stall, and that was the moment that I realized I don't look like them. And not only do I not look like them, I'm not shaped like them. Like,
so let's be clear. Were they two white girls?
they were two white girls.
And that's when you realize I don't look like them. What do you mean?
Like clearly our skin was different,
Yeah.
right? But we were in the same school. We lived in the same neighborhood. We were interested in the same things. So us being friends it was never an issue of what we looked like,
Yes.
right? It was our common interest that brought us together, and we had fun with each other. But it wasn't until I went into the bathroom stall, and like I knew I was always the bigger one, even though I've never been like huge or anything like that. Like I was just thicker and bigger, like, and built different. And when it got time for me to put on those shorts, they didn't move up.
You were like, I'm different. This is different. Yeah.
Right.
I get that. So what did that feel like because I totally understand what you mean. I think for a lot of black girls who grow up around white friends, you have that realization in different areas at different times. So I know exactly what you mean. Mine wasn't like that, but at some point you realize, yeah, I'm different. I know what you mean. You get caught up in they're your friends.
Yeah.
And but then you realize, yeah, I'm different in certain situations. So say more about that. What did that feel like?
Well, like I said, we had been changing clothes. So we were wearing each other's things. And just in middle school, you start changing in things, right? So I started changing a little differently, and as girls do.
Yeah.
But I was starting to get more curvier sooner than they were.
Yeah.
And so there was no more, changing clothes and sharing clothes. And so then it was, why am I bigger than everybody else? Like I was struggling with how I saw myself and how everybody else saw me, because I could not wear what my friends were wearing, or we couldn't shop in the same store, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't because of an economic disparity. It was because my body was different.
So are you saying, I can imagine, are you saying that there's a relationship to that in your blackness, or because I'm sure a lot of white girls experience that too, to a degree?
I'm sure they do, but that was the first time, because I was the only one that looked like me, right? So I was like, okay, yes, I'm the black girl, but the black girl is starting to change. And like my blackness was starting to come through a little bit more.
Yes.
As you become a young lady.
Yes.
And so that's when I started realizing, oh, okay. And then my eyes just opened up a little bit more, because previously there might have been words that were said or comments that I just didn't get, you know what I mean? But it wasn't until I saw the difference in my friends and I, where I could start seeing differences other places. And then as I grew and got, older, then I was like, oh, why is my coworker asking if she can touch my hair? Have I ever asked you if I can touch your? Like what?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. And it's pronounced, going back to the school experience. This is something else that I think people don't understand. You seeing that difference in yourself is pronounced and made even more visceral because you're the only black person. When you are in a group of white people like that, you feel automatically sort of singled out. And then if things begin to happen that set you apart even more,
right.
Think about what that does to a person. And in a place like Austin, when there aren't very many of us,
right.
You're sort of constantly checking yourself, in yourself, making those comparisons, fending off those kinds of questions that may offend some people and not others. But the hair, may I touch your hair? it's all right on the surface for us.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. Oh, you so pretty for a black girl?
Say that again?
You so pretty for a black girl?
Yeah. Why for a black girl?
I don't know. I'm definitely not gonna say thank you.
Yeah.
Because that feels underhanded. Like,
that's a big one, and that's one that's been talked about a lot, you know. And as women, I consider myself a feminist, but as women, we're going to keep it very real on this show. Women, generally, we want to feel beautiful.
absolutely.
I would say that it's a part of what makes us women is that we enjoy, you know, wearing the dresses every now and then and putting on them. Beauty industry is a huge industry, billions and billions of dollars for a reason. And feminists are buying some of those beauty and health products too.
Absolutely.
There is something that we get out of being beautiful. And in our society, I would say that black women have really been, and the darker the skin, the blacker the woman, the lower she is on that pole of even the potential, the capacity to be beautiful in our society. So let's talk a little bit about that. You are a model, a career model. So you have found whatever's happened in your life. I mean, I struggled with it. I struggled with beauty for a long time. Whatever has happened in your life, you managed to succeed with it and get to a point where you knew you were beautiful and you didn't care what anybody said. How did all of that begin for you, your modeling career?
It's always been a work in progress because my family started it. I have always known that I was loved and that I had a place to go to and a place to be and where I belonged. And my grandmother was a dark woman and she made sure to let her grandbabies know that we were beautiful. And it really, because of how she chose her life or how life went for her, right? She wanted to make sure that was understood. Like, just like we need you to have this religion and this spirituality, I need you to know that you are beautiful.
Wow.
and that you are graceful and that you can do whatever you want to do. So it started there.
Let's grab your portfolio here. And we were looking through, the pictures are stunning. What has the experience been like for you? And maybe for you, it's been pretty simple. Has it been easy? Do you find it easy to get jobs or?
Within our community, yes. When I step out into the mainstream community, I did a go-see in Paris where I took my stats and everything, and I went to a modeling agency, and they were very nice, and they let me know that I would be in their plus size category, and I was like, thanks. Where are they at? Because I'll take plus size Paris.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
Take plus size Paris.
don't play with me.
I love that.
And so to go to fashion shows where you have these high profile designers and you don't fit their gowns because they're not cartelled, or to go because you have been asked by a high fashion designer and your piece fits you, but the makeup artist doesn't know how to do your makeup, and you come out looking pale, and your girlfriends who were fellow black models are like, we're gonna be in the bathroom and we're fixing it because we're not gonna let you go out there like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's those experiences.
Right. That's a big one. I did a whole spread when I worked for the Statesman on makeup for black women. And a photographer and myself, we walked into 4 different salons, just walked in and asked them if they, I told them I wanted makeup for my skin tone, and they couldn't do it. They kind of, a couple of the women, it was really pitiful. They sort of went back into the back and mixed some stuff and then came out and, put it on me. Instead of just saying, we don't have makeup to match your skin tone. they played this game, and then,
And that's a common thing in the industry. And you're sitting there, and most times I don't have a mirror to watch you
Yeah.
throughout this process. So the only time I see it is when I get up, and like by the time I get out of your chair, it's time for me to get dressed. And like, so
Yeah.
those feelings and it happened so much that I decided I'm gonna learn how to do my own makeup. And I started asking when I was in black makeup artist chairs, I would ask, can I watch you? Can I have a mirror watch you to see what you're doing?
Oh, cool.
Why are you doing that? What is that for?
Yeah.
Okay, why do you use this? I took makeup classes so that I could learn how to do my makeup, because I was like, I just cannot keep coming out here looking like this.
Right.
Like, that is not gonna keep doing this like
Right.
this.
I mean, that's your profession. So
Right.
you want it to be right.
Right.
And your race or your skin color should not dictate how you're able to perform, or, I mean, in any profession, that's your race or color should not dictate any of that. For 51 years, I'm 51 years old, I've never worn a tiara or a crown. We're wearing these because it is June. With June comes Juneteenth. And with Juneteenth comes many, many, many celebrations, honorings of various people. One of those things is the Miss Juneteenth pageant. And you're being in the world of modeling and fashion and stage presence and walking. You have donated your time to the organization. Tell us about that. How long have you been doing that? Is it a volunteer? Tell us about it.
I volunteer. I was asked, and I jumped at the opportunity because I love all of the things that it involves, right? And when Tanisha asked me to do it again, I was like, absolutely.
Tanisha Barnett.
Tanisha Barnett.
She was nominated Austin Under 40 Awards, but she is into youth and education, mentorship, and she's the founder of the Miss Juneteenth Texas pageant. So let me say this real quickly too, so people know, we know what Juneteenth is. Google it if you don't. But for decades and decades and decades, people in Austin have been celebrating this time of year. And I remember being a little girl in East Austin, but I was so young, I can't remember exactly. I was too young at that time for the pageants that they did. But a big one way back then, even before me, was the Miss East Austin pageant.
Wow.
And I was just doing some research for our conversation. The Austin History Center has images of beautiful, beautiful black women in the 60s dressed in their sashes and their crowns, and they were competing in the Miss East Austin pageant, which is why any people who are moving to East Austin today, I wish they would give them like you have to take a test to drive. You need to take a test if you move
about the history
of the place you're moving in, because there are horror stories about people moving in over there and treating the black people who are still there a certain way.
Unfortunately, that is the running theme in America.
It is.
From Cali to New York, there have been communities that have been wiped over, parks put over, lakes put over, just completely abolished.
Right. For development, the sake of development.
So I mean, I'm an Austinite, so I'm definitely, hey, if you're gonna move to East Austin, I'm all for it. I vote for that, right?
Yes.
Learn the history, but then I'm gonna, challenge, learn the history of wherever you're gonna move to. Just like if I was gonna move to Costa Rica, and I need to learn how to speak Spanish and learn their cultures and customs.
Right.
Do that.
And respect them. When you get there, respect those people. But in the 60s, there was Miss East Austin. Then there was Miss Juneteenth. Tanisha Barnett founded the Miss Juneteenth Texas pageant, which Every year, it's so much more than beauty. That's what I want to say.
Yes.
Yes, it is about beauty and poise and elegance, but it's also about so much more. Tell us.
It's about mentorship and sisterhood. Tanisha is huge on wanting the girls to really understand that the pageant is a competition. It is not a competition.
Ooh, say that again.
The pageant is a competition. Like, it's not a competition between us.
Yeah.
We all have skills and talents and gifts, right? And so shine. Allow the world to see that and put your mark on it so that one day you can look back and see what talents and skills that you did. But don't compete with your sister, right? Uplift her and there's a mentorship so that one generation can teach another one, and generation we can teach each other,
right?
Because there are things that the children teach me all the time.
Yes.
So it's more than just being pretty, and it's a natural pageant. Come as you are, how you feel comfortable, like be all of who you are.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And they offer, so there's scholarships.
There are scholarships.
There's, when you talk about mentorship, you are someone, like I said, there are lots and lots of girls who are interested in the beauty industry, being models, being actors, stage and film. You are someone who you volunteer your time, you go in, what do you do with these girls? Tell us about a typical session that you would have.
A typical session
yes.
is, it's fun. We're all over the place because there's multiple girls in the room, right? And so we all have different personalities, and I want to make sure that each of them feels like they can be heard and be catered to. So if we need to be loud and outgoing for a little bit, or if we need to soften it and do anything, we're going to do all of that, right? So just accommodating the girls. But we talk about self-image and self-esteem and confidence. When we're in pageant season, it's definitely cartel to pageants and how we are standing, what our feet are doing. Your shoulders need to be back, pulled back. Your head is up, but not too up. Like, you need to be parallel with the ground. So we're covering things like that. But a lot of it is confidence, and sisterhood, because we're gonna need help. It doesn't matter where we are. At some point in time, we're gonna need help.
Yeah.
And as a fellow Black woman, I want you to know that should you need help, and I'm here, I'm gonna help you.
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna let you struggle. Yes. And if I can't help you, we're gonna be stuck together and look for some help. You know what I mean?
And if I'm honest, I can say, I have lots of girlfriends.
Yeah.
And regardless of race, I love what women do for one another. We are there for one another. Some of my best friends are white or Latina, definitely Black. But I gotta be real. There's something about Black women that when you get the support from a Black woman, you feel fully supported.
Yeah.
You feel fully seen and supported.
Yeah. You know the phrase, it takes one to know one?
Yes.
Because nobody else knows the struggle that we have, the depth of them, like all of them, at the business meetings, at the family meetings, out in social settings, the internal conversations, because nobody else truly gets it like another Black woman does. I think that we're able to see one another like no one else can see us, and we're able to support one another because we're in this boat by ourselves.
Yes.
And there might be some supporters out there, and those supporters might be the other women, and that's fine. But we're in this boat over here together.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that completely.
You know what is beautiful to see? Sometimes the girls know each other because we live in the community together, right? And then sometimes the girls don't know each other. But what is beautiful to be able to see is everybody at their own pace and areas, but like the little girls are a different level of hype, right? Than the bigger girls because you know it's you're different levels.
Yes.
And to see the big girls champion the little girls and like hype them up, it's just it's wonderful because like that's what it's about. And so when you see it starting at this age and they're cultivating that, and you're just like, like you're gonna have that, and it's all of the things, right? Because the beauty industry comes with so much. So to see that the distance that we have come in the beauty industry, so that some of our struggles aren't as hard. And what I mean are like, there are different things, different products. Like I've got this new cool brush that I can detangle my hair with, right? So these little girls aren't gonna know the struggle of.
Oh, I know. I know.
You know?
I know. I still hold my ear when I go get my silk presses.
Absolutely.
You know, and I always worry, is this insulting to the stylist if I hold my ear because I'm insinuating, you know, but
because you don't.
It's just
trauma.
Natural. It's trauma. It's trauma.
But for so long they've said that beauty is pain, right?
Yes.
And I don't.
Yes.
I get it. But I don't.
But it doesn't have to be anymore, does it?
Right. It shouldn't.
Yeah.
But I think that with all of those different changes, it will help our little black girls not go through some of the pain points of being a little black girl, because your coils are beautiful.
Yes.
And it's not your fault that they didn't have a product that was for you, because everything has been, you know, made and cartelled for somebody else.
Right.
So,
or made to have us look like them.
right.
And we've talked a lot about that. Black women do, you know, there's a whole range of things we can do with our hair, for instance. And, you know, we have braids, we go natural. I like getting my hair straightened. I like it. I don't get the relaxers anymore because I think those did a lot of damage. The chemicals on our hair, but we didn't know. We were trying to be like a certain thing. But yes, now we have this whole range of choices, and more, it's, you know, now it's cool. It's kind of like East Austin. Now it's cool to have an afro or to have I mean, there were times in our history when it was cool to have an afro, but that was with us. Yeah. It's always been with us. Yeah. But yes, there's a whole range of things we can do now, and that's empowering.
Yeah. Yes. I see and get excited. You know how when you grow up with something, you're like, whatever, you know, it's not that cool. But like, I'm excited for them because it's like, man, y'all are, that's awesome. Nobody can say anything to you in school or at work anymore about how you wear your hair. So that's not gonna be your complex.
Yes, right.
Because there is a generation of women who will not walk out of their house without their hair looking a certain way.
That's right.
Because society made them understand that that is not acceptable, that is not beautiful. Right. When that's the way it grows out of your head.
That's the way it grows out of your head. Exactly. Exactly. Again, that's a really beautiful thing you're saying, is that the girls today, and you spend time with them, so you're seeing, hopefully, that there's less trauma. You know, maybe that's a way to put it.
I hope so.
We're trying to create a world where there is less unnecessary trauma to these black girls. When you're working with them, do you come across, do any of the girls do they talk about race? Is that even something that comes up with them?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We talk about race. We talk about colorism. Yeah. Because we have all the little girls, right?
Yeah.
We talk about sizeism.
Yes.
Because our girls are shapely.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
it happens. And so we talk about those things. And within the pageant space, it is a safe space. So the girls know that whatever we talk about, we're not going to go and share it, and we're not going to go and gossip and do those things. We're going to talk about it so that we can get to the core, and we can have some understanding of what the issue is, and so that we can help you get past that or come through it.
Well, I am glad that you're working with the pageant, and we didn't say mine. I am Miss Writer, because again, it's about beauty, but it's about more than that. It's about self-worth and how you see yourself and what makes you proud to be who you are. So I'm Miss Writer because that's one of the things that I really value about me. I love to write, and I was able to fashion a career as a writer. Tell us what yours is and why you say that.
I will. I want to stay on yours for a moment because you are a wonderful writer.
Thank you very much.
And everything that you do, because you're not just a writer.
Yes. Thank you.
And what I love about Miss Writer and putting it all together for the Black woman is, like, we have yet another chance, yet all the opportunity to rewrite our story and to write how we want to, because so many people have written it for us.
Yep.
So I like the Miss Writer.
I love that you get that. And I personally think we're all writers. I do. Now, some people feel they can write better than others, or some people don't like to write as much, but we all have the capacity to write down our stories. And that's important to me, that you nailed it. People have told our stories for us, or have, sat us down and listened to us and gotten our stories and rewrote them for themselves. We can write our own stories,
right,
is what I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine says Miss Lady, and that is a tribute to my grandmother, because she was just such a lady, and she taught us so many things, but to be classy and just make sure that how you present yourself, you do so accordingly. That has stuck with me.
You are very classy, and
Thank you.
And I didn't ask you until you got here to write that, so you didn't have much time to think about what to put on, and then you thought for a minute and you said, I'm going to go with Miss Lady. And you didn't explain why. I love that with your grandmother, and you're the epitome of a lady, and that's beautiful.
Thank you.
We're gonna wrap up here. I wanna, before we wrap up, say that at I think it's June 17th. I have my notes, so I need to check my notes. But there's not a Juneteenth pageant this year, but there is going to be at the African American Cultural and Heritage Facility Center, I think that's over on 11th, a Juneteenth celebration, June 17th, 12 to 6 p.m. It's free, and there will be some, they call them queens.
Yes.
From past pageants there to network. Registration will be open very soon. We're going to share the website where young Black girls can go. Is it only for Black girls?
It is not only for Black girls.
Yeah.
It is for us.
It's for us. Yeah.
Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We are open to everybody. This is something for us,
right,
because for so long in our history, we have been excluded,
right,
from things. This is specifically for us.
Yeah.
Right. And so I don't want that to, we are open.
Yes.
We are about uplifting one another. And so if you're a woman and you feel like you need to be in the space with us, come on in. With that said, Tanisha Barnett did a fabulous job to create a space for the Black women in the Austin and Central area.
What would be your final message to young Black girls today?
Dream big. Challenge everything. Question everything. Find your group of sisters because you're going to need them.
I would say to young Black girls that listen to Shay when you talked about how we're creating things so that that trauma does not exist. I love that, and I hope that's what's happening. Yeah. Believe in yourself. Like, you are worth so much as anyone else on this earth. You are beautiful. Your hair is beautiful. Your smile is beautiful. Your nose, your hips are beautiful. Yeah. Love yourself. And that's not always easy, no matter who you are. But don't let society break you down. That's just my message.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love your t-shirt, what it says.
Peace, love, and melanin.
Peace, love, and melanin.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on Brainstorm Black. You are gorgeous, inside and out.
Oh, thank you.
You have an energy that is, we've been talking since you walked through the door. We have all been talking. I have production assistants who happen to be my nieces, but they are amazing young Black women.
Amazing.
And they are gorgeous.
Yes.
They're a little shy too. They don't want to come on camera. But we appreciate you. We love you for being here with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thank you so very much.
Yes, thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time
Alrighty.
on Brainstorm Black.